Hello YouTube, this is Sonic2KK here, and welcome back to another Python programming tutorial. And in this tutorial we're going to cover something about escape characters, and we're going to cover the exec keyword in Python. They both tie in with each other, and that's why I want to teach both in this tutorial. So let's teach the exec function first. Now, what does exec mean? So if you go into Python, you type exec, and you can either put parentheses around this, or you can just do it in quotation marks, or well, you have to do parentheses, and you have to put the quotation marks or speech marks in parentheses, or you can just do something like this or that, or you can do it that way, whatever works for you. Kind of like how print works, you can have the parentheses or not. Although I think in in Python 3, Python 3.3.1 at least, they're required, the parentheses. And same for print, parentheses are required. You can look up the changelog. I think it's called PEP or something, is what Python calls their changelog. I don't know, but you can always look it up on their website, python.org. So now let's get on with what the exec function does. Now the exec function executes a piece of Python code. In these quotation marks, or yeah, quotation marks I think is what they're called, you put the code that you want executed in here. So if I say print hello world, and I save this, go here, it'll print out hello world. But we didn't print hello world, but we put it in the exec function, and that executes a piece of Python code. So we could say x equals 10, and then down here we could say print x, and then we could save this. What am I doing? Print x. And here it'll say 10. Actually, just make that look cleaner. It will print out 10 because it still gets stored in the memory. And then if we go back into Emacs, that's what I'm using, by the way. And if you're using Emacs and you want to save a document, hold Control and press X and S. And if you want to exit it, hold Control and press X and C. But this is an Emacs tutorial. And in Emacs, you have to set up your Python environment here. This is the shebang line for doing it. Because I recorded this tutorial before and it didn't work because I didn't put in the path in Emacs. It may work differently in different editors like Sublime Text, but still it's better to have this. You can also set up like Python 3.4, which I have installed, 3.3, 2.5, which I think is MacPython, 3.2, whatever you have installed, you can just put that at the end, or whatever your default one is, that will be just Python. Okay, so now for escape characters. An escape character is like \n, that's an escape character. \n, let's do some comments. \n, new line character. That's, I think it's also called a character term. And T, tab, and this indents 4 spaces. Maybe you can see where I'm going with this now. There is also /b, which is bell, which is like the how can I get it up on my Mac? I can't seem to get it to play my volume up. Oh. Well, there we go. Got Minecraft opened somehow. Yeah, but this is bell character, and that will play like a bell sound. I've never actually tried it with Python. Actually, we could probably try it at the end of this tutorial just to see what it sounds like. It'll probably be different for your system. On Mac, it'll probably be whatever the default system thing is. Actually, I didn't mean to remove them. So on your system on Windows, it'll probably be whatever the Windows sound is. I haven't used Windows in a long time, so I forget what it sounds like. Why can I not delete that? Strange. It's up there now. We will say... I'm not sure why that's happening. Anyway, you should know what they are now, because I've explained them. and it moves down. That's a strange thing. So the ones that you have to worry about are normal backslash, backslash t, and backslash n. So let's say we're doing exec, right, and we want to execute a piece of code. We want to say print hello world. Like it's not, I don't like, and this is the default terminal font for me. It isn't coming up in, yeah, it's not coming up in normal string color, and that is because Python thinks, it reads this and says, okay, this is where the string starts, and it looks for the next possible way to close the string, which will be this one here. I don't know how to select an Emacs, it's very buggy for me. So you select this one here that my cursor is blinking on. It'll say, alright, so that's the end of the string, and then this is just normal Python code, and this is these two, and it thinks this is a completely new string. So if we want to actually have this as a string, we need to do what is known as escape it, and we put a backslash here, and that says to Python, nope, this isn't ending the string, this is just making new quotation marks. And Python's like, oh, okay. And then it sees this, and it thinks, oh, this is the end of the string now, because we haven't put a backslash here, so it thinks, right, this is the next possible way to close it, so I'm going to close it here. So any code here isn't Python code, or it isn't a string. But say we do want it to be a string, well then we can just say backslash, and we have that as a normal string. Because then it skips this and says, no Python, this isn't the end of the string either. And it'll say, alright, okay, and then it'll look for the next possible way to exit it, which will be this one, and that will be the end of the exec function, and we'll be like, alright, yes, this is what we want, and it will exit the string, if that makes sense. So that's why backslashes or escape characters are useful. So let's save this. Hold the wrong key there. It mustn't be saving in UTF format. Let's say Python main.py. No. Hold on. I think encoding's wrong or something. Okay, so the problem was actually really strange. It was that little underscore that we had at the bottom that I thought was really weird. I really don't know how we got that either, but that was messing up the encoding, because apparently it's not part of whatever we encoded in, which I think by default is UTF-8. So I deleted the file, deleted the Emacs file that it makes with the wee tilde beside. It duplicates the file but has a wee tilde beside it. I think that's the Unix executable that it makes when you do /. So I deleted the file, deleted that file, remade the file, and I just say here, this is what we have now. I think the casing might be wrong, but other than that, it's more or less the exact same as what we had before. So if we do /main.py, it prints out hello world, and that is exactly what we want. So that is what the escape characters are. But this is very simple, right? This is an extremely simple program. So let's go into Emacs again, and say we want to make say we also want to make a function, right? Or an if statement even. Let's create a variable and call it x10. We're going to say new line. Then we're going to say if x is equal to 10, create a new line, and say print hello world. Yes, you can also do this, just use normal quotation marks, but in some cases you actually can't do that. So yeah, let's save this, run it. It'll say indentation error, expected an indented block, because we're just putting it on a new line and we're not actually indenting it. Because remember, Python is in case, or not case, it is case sensitive, but it's white space sensitive, because that's how you define where blocks of code begin and end. Blocks of code, if you don't know, are basically just like chunks of code, like a line of code. Like anything you put under an if statement is called a chunk of code or a block of code. It's like a large group of code. So how do we fix this? You might just be thinking, oh, we can't do this in the exec keyword or method or whatever you want to call it. But you actually can. Remember, I said about \t that tabs in 4 spaces. Because remember, Python standard is 4 spaces, and I think 2 spaces work as well. But that tabs it in for us and fixes the white space. So let's save this, and it will work fine because x was equal to 10. And that is how you do it. So yeah, so let's go into Emacs again, and let's just see, because I think we can also do this. Yeah, because we can do that as well. But say you want a lot of code on another line, like for whatever reason you might want to make it look well, you'd probably do that. And before we go, one more trick that I want to show you with Python is that statements can be separated by a colon, a semicolon. Semicolons aren't required in Python, but you can say, you can like give multiple things. Like you can separate statements, and the statement is like variable assignments and stuff, but you can't do it with like methods or like creating functions. You can't put semicolons and stuff at the end of obviously. So you can do stuff like that. And I think that's valid. I believe that's valid. I remember reading that somewhere that that's valid. Let's do this. .py, hello world. And yeah, that's valid. So let's go into Emacs and actually just print out these values. Print x, y, z. I think I talked about the commas and stuff in Python. This will automatically put in a space between them if you use a comma, but there's some advantages and disadvantages to this. So yeah, you can use that as well as concatenation, but with concatenation, remember, you have to put in a space after. With this, you actually don't have to. So let's save this, exit, and we'll print it 10, 20, 30, and we have the spaces there, and we were able to assign multiple variables with a semicolon. So let's just go back over the code one more time. You don't have to worry about this. This is just for Emacs. Here we set a variable called x equal to 10. We say if x is equal to 10, print hello world. We create another variable down here called x, which will override the previous x, obviously. Set it equal to 10. We put a semicolon and say y is equal to 20, because remember, if you put a semicolon after a statement, it will think it's another statement. I don't think you have to have the space actually as well, but you can if you want. It makes it look nice. So you can separate multiple statements with a semicolon and have them all on one line, or you can also have them all on separate lines. And then here we print it out using the comma. We say print x, comma, space y, comma, space z, and these are the variables we declared up here. So remember, with if you use a comma, it will add a space, or you can use concatenation or the plus. So let's actually do x plus y plus z, and I'll show you the output. Let's here, and then it'll say 60 because it actually adds them. But if we convert these to strings, I know I'm going a little bit like crazy here. We say str z. And this will actually just concatenate them together as strings and not integers. We actually want to have a space here, and then we save this, run it, and it will say 10, 20, 30, because remember, whenever we concatenated it, we did not add any spaces. And obviously, to do that, we would just say plus that, and then we save it. We do that, then it'll say 10, 20, 30. Obviously, we don't have to have the commas, but you know, what can you do? So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. My name is Sonic2KK, and I will see you in the next tutorial.